My name is Ryan and I'm in recovery. I wanted to talk a bit on negative self-talk. It's something that came up a lot in the therapy sessions I did in rehab. And I guess I was maybe never that consciously aware that I did it. But there was, I guess, a kind of specific breakthrough moment for me was about halfway through my rehab program, kind of 3 weeks into my 6-week program. I was showering one evening. The kind of routine to my day in rehab was that you would do your kind of group and one-on-one sessions up till like 4 p.m. Then you'd get a bit of free time. In that free time, I'd normally go and have a workout, and then I'd have a shower, and then go and have dinner with the community. When I was I'm not that clued up in terms of going to the gym, so I think I'd basically used the machine wrong, and I'd hurt my shoulder by pushing it the wrong angle or too much weight or something. But yeah, my shoulder was really sore, so I was continuing to go to the gym, but I was having to do lighter weights. And yeah, so one evening I was showering, and as I was showering, I just suddenly noticed that I felt really anxious, like, you know, that kind of like twisty knot feeling in your stomach. I had that feeling, and I was thinking to myself, I don't really want to go for dinner. I don't want to have to sit and talk to people. I kind of just want to go to bed, hide under the duvet, that kind of stuff. But, you know, the dinner was one of the things I always really looked forward to, because I sat at a table with, you know, my friends within the community. It was always a bit more of a laid back environment than, you know, your kind of structured routine during the day. There's a chance to kind of catch up and just chat about random stuff, you know, kind of let your hair down, I guess. But yeah, I was thinking I didn't want to go. And as I was as I was showering, I was thinking, why am I feeling anxious? Why am I feeling anxious? And I kind of was able to pinpoint it, and I realized I was having this kind of, I guess, like almost subconscious thought in my head where I was annoyed that I hadn't tried harder in the gym. I was like, why have you not tried hard enough in the gym? You're not going to make progress if you don't try hard enough. Obviously, the reason I wasn't trying hard enough is because my shoulder hurt and I couldn't. It didn't make sense to push myself and injure myself more. But for some reason, my kind of inner monologue was negative. And the kind of, as I brought that to the forefront of my mind and I became aware of it, it felt like a bit of a breakthrough moment, because suddenly I zoomed out and I was like, wait, I do this about everything in my life. Every time I have a social interaction, like in a group setting, or even like a one-on-one conversation with someone, I walk away from it and kind of analyze it and be like, how was I in that setting? Did I come across well? Did I engage in the right way? Blah, blah, blah. And I do it about everything, like work. I'm forever analysing my own performance at work, which I know everyone does, but I guess, and maybe in an unhealthy way for me, the same in all relationships, the same in the way I exercise, the way I eat, the way I do any of my hobbies. You know, I just pick everything apart and kind of analyse it and think to myself, did I do it good enough? But the problem is that the answer was always no. No, I did not do it good enough. So therefore, I'm just constantly in this, like, you've not done enough, you're failing, you're not worthy. And you know, that as much as it can be subtle, it's constant. So, you know, that really messes with your self-worth and your self-esteem. It really brings you down. And, you know, through therapy and through talking about these kind of things in rehab, you really learn how much this low self-esteem and negative self-talk pulls you into addiction, and it keeps you there. And it almost makes you think that this is all you're worthy of. This tortuous way that you use drugs, taking grams at a time, nearly having a heart attack, having numb arms, having depressive, suicidal thoughts, all that stuff. It's like, that's what I'm worthy of. And that comes from this chatter in your head that's just negative, even if it's just tiny little things like, oh, you shouldn't have eaten that chocolate bar, you shouldn't have done this, you should have been a bit friendlier in that social encounter. It all just builds up into this like feeling of low self-esteem, and you can get trapped in that. But yeah, since having the kind of awareness of it through the therapy and through, you know, like this thing with the shower, when I've realised it in the shower, I've really started to make, you know, more attempts to fix it. I'm journaling every day now, and that includes writing 5 things I'm grateful for every day. I'm doing a lot of kind of positive affirmations within myself. My counsellor told me to say them out loud in the mirror. I'm still working on that. I feel a bit stupid when I do that, but yeah, I'm trying. I'm doing a lot of breath work and meditation, which I dismissed before as kind of like hippie nonsense, but trust me, if you try hard and practice it, it works. Yeah, and all these practices are just really helping my self-worth. I can feel it improving every day. And, you know, the better your self-worth is, the the less you're likely to do things that are going to damage yourself, like taking copious amounts of drugs. So yeah, I would just say, if you are in the kind of throes of addiction, try and be a bit kinder to yourself internally. Try and tell yourself you're worthy. Try and think of the good things in your life. Focus on them things. Don't focus too much on what's bad. Don't, addiction feeds off shame and guilt. If you can try and flip that and think more positively, focus on the people that love you, the things you're good at, what makes you a good person, then you might find it a bit easier to break the addictive cycle.